Hello everyone, this is Miss Amrita and you're watching Guru's Academy. Hope you all are watching my videos regularly so that you all can get all your concepts clear. And if not, and you are new to my channel, then watch my previous videos for which you will have to click the I button which is on the right hand side corner. Do comment, share and subscribe my channel and don't forget to press the bell icon which will give you notifications of my videos. So today we will be learning the 5th standard EVS 1 chapter 2, that is motion of the earth. So students, do you all know what the word motion means? Yes, the word motion means movement, process of moving. So in this lesson, we are going to learn the process of moving of our earth. So the first is given is the rotation. Now we have told a small experiment. Let's see what that experiment is. Take a top, spin it and observe its movement. Yes, do you all know what does a top means? Top means bhavra. Bhavra सर्वांना माहित असेल. So what we have to do? We have to spin it and observe its movement. The top turns around itself. Any object that turns about itself actually turns around a certain imaginary line. The turning of an object around itself is called rotation, and the imaginary line around which it rotates is called the axis of rotation. See, we can observe this from the picture which is given here. See, this is the top which is rotating. It is rotating in this direction. It is rotating very fast, but you all can't see how it is rotating when it's rotating fast. It is rotating by this imaginary line. There is no line, but it is the imaginary line which we can imagine. So that imaginary line is the axis of rotation. Now we will see what is Earth's rotation. Take a globe like the one in the picture and spin it. Note the line around which it rotates. See, this is the globe. We all know globe. We have seen it in our school. And what we have to do? We have to rotate it. When we rotate, the globe will be spin in this direction. Isn't it? So now what we have to do? You have to see around what is it rotating. Note the line around which it rotates. Yes, where can you all see the line along which it rotates? We can see this is the line along with it rotates. Now take a plumb line and hold it close to the globe as shown in the picture. Now, do you all know what is plumb line? See, the plumb line is a string where the weight is attached below it. See, this is this plumb line and this is the weight which is attached. Now, what we have to do? We have to hold this plumb line straight at the globe. What can you all see? This is our line through which the earth is rotating. And this is our plumb line. You have to hold it straight along with the axis of the rotation, along the line of the rotation. And if you do not get the plumb line, tie a long thread to an eraser and make it once. If you don't have the plumb line, what you'll do? You will take a thread and tie a eraser at one of its end and you can use this as a plumb line. So you will see that plumb line and the earth axis are at angle to each other. That is the earth's axis. That is the earth axis is inclined. See what we have to see. We have to see that this is our line through which the earth is rotating and this is our plumb line. So you can see the angle is formed. This is the angle which is formed between the line where the earth is rotating and the plumb line. When we will see the plumb line and the earth axis, they form an angle to each other. that is the earth axis is inclined. Let's see this in the picture. See, this is our earth's axis and this is the plumb line. So we can see that there is the angle formed. So that means the angle formation tells us that the earth is inclined, means it is leaning or it is tilted. So the earth axis, it is not straight. Whenever you all observe the globe, you all can see that the globe, where it is hold down, it is tilted one side. That means the earth is revolving in the same manner around the sun. The earth rotates with its axis inclined like this. Yes, we have just seen that in the picture. So the line NS in the picture shows the earth's axis. Yes, see, we can see this in the picture. This is our line of axis. This is the north, that is N, and this is the south, that is the S. So the line NX are the axis of the earth. It passes through the center of the earth. The points N and S are called the poles of the earth. N is the north pole of the earth and S is the south pole. See, we can see this in the picture. This is our axis and it is passing through the center of the earth. This is the N, that is the north pole, and this is this S, that is the south pole. If the circle were drawn around the surface of the earth exactly in the between the north and south pole, it would be divided into two equal parts, and this imaginary line is called as equator. Let's see this in the picture. See, if we draw this as an imaginary line, this is just between the north pole and the south pole. So this imaginary line is called the equator. It divides the earth into two equal parts, the upper part and the lower part, that is the north pole and the south pole. So the two equal part it makes of the earth is called the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere respectively. So the imaginary line, which is called as equator, it divides the earth into two parts. This is the northern hemisphere and this is the southern hemisphere. So we can see from this globe that the upper part, this is the north pole and this is the south pole. And we have the northern hemisphere and we have the southern hemisphere, and the imaginary line is called as equator. Now let's see what is the next experiment given. Stand a candle in the middle of a large table. Draw a big circle around the candle. Place the globe at any point at the circle. Light the candle. See that it is dark in the room, and suppose that the candle is the sun. See, now this has been given in this picture. We will see what have they given here. This is the candle which we have taken on the table and we have drawn a circle around it. What we have to do? We have to place a globe at any point. So we have taken the globe at this point. Now what we have to do? We have to rotate our globe. See, this is the direction where it is rotating. Now assume that the candle is the sun. And this is what our globe will look, that is our earth will look when it will be rotating. What will happen? What can we see? We can see that the sun, the rays of the sun, when it falls on the earth, we can see this part. We can see the light over here. That is the well lit part of the globe shows the day. Now we will see one more example, and here instead of candle I have taken bulb. What can we see? The bulb is on and the globe is rotating. What can you all observe here? We can observe that the light of bulb is falling on the globe which is in front of the bulb, and the behind part where light of the bulb cannot reach, it is the darker. Now looking at the globe from direction of the North Pole, turn it anti-clockwise. This is how the earth rotates. That is, it rotates from west to east. Yes. Looking at the globe at the direction of the North Pole. This is our North Pole. Now when we turn it in the anti-clockwise direction, the earth is revolving, rotating in this direction. So this is how our earth rotates, and it rotates from west to east. As the earth rotates, its different parts come into the light of the sun one after the other and turn away from it also in the same order. That is, when the earth is rotating, it is rotating in this way, isn't it? So as soon as and when it rotates, the part of the earth, it comes in the front of the sun, and that is when there is the daytime. That is, the light of the sun, it falls on the earth, and similar way it turn away from it and also in the same order. Now let's see what is sunset and sunrise. Again, we have given one of the experiment. Let's see what is that experiment. Stick a red bindi on the globe. Set up the previous model of the globe and the candle. Turn the globe in anti-clockwise. Note when it is sunrise, noon and sunset at the location of the bindi. Now let's see it in the globe, where you can see I've taken the red color bindi. Now you have to rotate your globe. Now if I am rotating my globe, this is the way where it will be rotating, isn't it? Now along with that globe, that bindi will also rotate. What will happen? When it will go at the back side, it will be darker. Now when it will turn and again it will come at this point. See, at this point, what will be that? That will be sunrise, because the rays of the sun will start falling on the earth. That will be your sunrise. And when that bindi will come at this point, maybe at the center, that may be your noon, that is afternoon. But the rotation is still going on. That means that bindi is going forward. Then again it will come at one point at over here. That is again this sun rays of the sun will not fall on the earth. That means it will be going in the darker, and that will be your darker side of the earth. So what have we noted above? After one sunrise, note when the next one occurs at the bindi. We have just seen that in the explanation. So you will see that this happens when earth completes one rotation. That is when it makes one complete turn around itself. This is the period of earth that takes one complete rotation, and that is called a day. Yes, students, you will have to keep this in mind. Period of time that the earth takes to complete one rotation is called a day. A day has two parts, daytime and the night time, or simply day and night. For the purpose of measuring time, we divide the whole day into 24 parts, each of which is called an hour. So now let's see what is given, a year. Now what we are supposed to do? Move the globe along the circle on the table. As you do this, keep rotating the globe and ensure that the axis does not change its orientation. Yes, what we are supposed to do? We have to supposed to take the same model which we had taken for seeing the sunset, sunrise and day and night. What we are supposed to do? We have to take the globe and we have to keep it rotating. You have to keep the globe rotating and ensure that the axis do not change its orientation. That is, the axis should not change its place. It should be as it is when you start rotating it along with the candle. Eventually, the globe will come back to its original place on its circle. This is how the earth revolves around the sun even as it rotates around itself. Yes, students, in the previous lesson, I have explained you all how the earth rotates around its own axis, and along with the rotation, it also revolves around the sun, and as it rotates around itself. So, the period of time the earth takes to complete one revolution around the sun is called 1 year. Yes, you have to keep this in mind. The period of time the earth takes to complete one revolution around the sun is called 1 year. You may ask, what is 1 year? So you have to write this. There are about 365 days and 6 hours in a year. That means the earth, it takes one revolution, that is 1 year, and the period is 365 days and 6 hours in a year. So the next is a leap year. Have you all ever heard a leap year? Yes, student, do you all know what is the leap year? Let's see. In Gregorian calendar, the year is taken to have 365 days. But we have seen that the year, it takes 365 days and 6 hours. But according to Gregorian calendar, the year is taken to be 365 days. It means that the count of 6 hours is less every year. That makes 24 hours or 1 day in every 4 years. Yes, we know that in Gregorian calendar there are 365 days, but the earth takes 365 days and 6 hours. So this 6 hour is less every year in this calendar. What happens in after every 4 years? That means each year's 6 hours, so 4 years will make 24 hours. That means a full 1 day. So to make up this loss of 1 day, the month of February in Gregorian calendar has an extra day every 4th year. Yes, the loss of 1 day, we have to repair it, we have to take it because we can't neglect it. So that 24 hours, that makes the 1 day. The month of February in Gregorian calendar has an extra day every 4th year. That means every 4 year, February has 29 days instead of 28 days. And that year is called as the leap year. So instead of 365 days, a leap year has 366 days and February has 29 instead of 28 days. This is the leap year. So do you all know, students, that the length of the day and night is not always equal? This happens because of the Earth's inclined axis and its revolution around the sun. Yes, in the northern hemisphere, we know the topmost part of the earth is the northern hemisphere. So between 22nd March and 23rd September, the days are longer than nights. Therefore, it is warmer there. That is, it is summer in the northern hemisphere. Yes, during the period of 22nd March to 23rd September, what happens? The days are longer and nights are shorter. And why is this? This is just because of the inclined axis of the earth. And therefore, there is warmer. That is, it is summer in the northern hemisphere. So you may have question that when do the northern hemisphere has summer season? You can say from March to September. However, during this same period in the southern hemisphere, what happens? In the same period in the southern hemisphere, the nights are longer than the days. Yes, in northern hemisphere, what it is? The days are longer, and in southern hemisphere, the nights are longer. So what happened? The earth gets less heat in these parts, and therefore it is winter in the southern hemisphere. Yes, and this is just because of the axis of the earth which is inclined. So in southern hemisphere it is winter, and then during same period it is warmer in the northern hemisphere. So from 22nd March to 23rd September in southern hemisphere it is winter. So after 23rd September, that is after 23rd September to 22nd March, the days are longer than the nights in southern hemisphere. That is what happened. It gets more heat and it is summer there. So from 23rd September to 22nd March, it is summer in the southern hemisphere. And during this period in northern hemisphere, what happened? The nights are longer. And northern hemisphere, it gets less heat, so it is winter. Note that there may be differences in this date due to the leap year. In summer, the rainy season and winter are considered to be the main seasons. We also divide the year into 6 seasons, which are known as Vasant, Grishma, Varsha, Sharad, Hemant and Shishir. The cycle of the 6 seasons are called as Ritu Chakra. Many of our festivals are connected with these seasons, and many of our songs and games are also related to the different seasons. Now let's see what are phases of moon. What is the name given to the changing the shapes of moon that we see? Yes, you all must have noticed that the moon changes its shapes. And what are those called? Those are called as phases of moon. Good. And what are the names of the days on which we see a round moon and on which do we see no moon? Yes, what does round moon means? Round moon means the full moon, that is the full moon day. And we see no moon, that is we cannot see moon at that night. That is called the new moon day. So now we will study what is full moon and new moon. The moon revolves around the earth and earth revolves around the sun. However, these two orbits intersect. Yes, we know what does intersection means. Intersection means when two lines they cross each other. That is called intersection. So the moon revolves around the earth and earth revolves around the sun. So these two orbits, the orbit of moon and orbit of earth, they intersect with each other. Hence, the sun, moon, earth are not always in a straight line. We see half of the moon's surface which faces the earth. That is, from the earth we see only one side of the moon. Yes, have you all ever seen the full moon from all sides? No, we only see the half moon. Which part do we see? We see the surface of the moon which faces us, which faces our earth. That is, from the earth we can see only one side of the moon. Moon has no light of its own. We can see moon because of the sun's light that falls on it. On the full moon day means what? The full round moon. When we can see the full moon, we see the entire side of moon that faces the earth. How can we see? We can see because it has no light. It gets light from the sun. So on full moon day, we can see the entire part of the moon that faces our earth. And on new moon night, we cannot see it. You all know that means full moon means what? So students, full moon means what? Purnima. And when there is no moon, that is Amavasya. मग पौर्णिमेला आपल्याला काय दिसतो? आपण पूर्ण चंद्र बघू शकतो. आणि अमावस्येला काय? अमावस्येला रात्री काहीच नसतो, अंधार असतो खूप, हो ना? So the moon has no light of its own. From full moon to the new moon, the illuminated part of the moon seen from the earth becomes smaller and smaller. Illuminated part means what? The part which we can see. What happened to that part? It becomes smaller and smaller. And from new moon to the full moon, म्हणजेच अमावस्यापासून पौर्णिमेपर्यंत काय होतं? पूर्ण चंद्र मोठा मोठा दिसू लागतो. It again grows bigger and bigger. So these different shapes of the moon that we see are called phases of moon. Let's see what is lunar month and the days. You know that it takes 14 to 15 days from new moon to full moon. म्हणजे अमावस्यापासून पौर्णिमेपर्यंत तो जो काळ असतो मधला 14 ते 15 दिवसांचा. that is from the new moon to the full moon. This is the fortnight of the waxing moon. That is the days which it take from new moon to the full moon, that is of 2 weeks. That is called that fortnight. That is called the waxing moon. We call this as the waxing moon. That period is called. And after that, the full moon. The moon again appears smaller and smaller. एकदा पौर्णिमा होऊन गेली की next day, from the next day we can see that the moon appears smaller and smaller. And after 14 to 15 days again it is a new moon day. म्हणजे प्रत्येक 15 दिवसांनी पौर्णिमा आणि अमावस्या आपण पाहू शकतो. So this period is the fortnight of waning moon. So this period after the full moon to the new moon, again that period is called the waning of the moon. Thus the period of one new moon to the next is the 28 to 30 days. And this is called the lunar month. You all can be asked the question, what is the lunar month? So the period from one new moon to the next, from one new moon day to the next new moon day, it is 28 to 30 days and it is called the lunar month. And every day of the lunar month is called as Tithi. So always remember, rotation of the earth give rise to day and night. Yes, we have seen it and I have explained you all the day and night. Revolution of the earth and the inclination of its axis give rise to the cycle of seasons. Now see students, you all can see from here, this is the phases of the moon given. Yes. Let's see what is the first. Yes, this is what we can see after the no moon day, that is Amavasya. The next day of the Amavasya, the new moon day, you can see smaller parts. See, you can see the moon, it is showing very smaller parts. One of the phase you can see half, and the next phase, the last phase, this is the full moon day, which is the Purnima. So all these are the phases of moon. See, you can get a good explanation over here. What is the new moon? This is the new moon. From new moon to full moon day, it takes the 15 days. And that period is called the waxing moon. That is the Shukla Paksha. And from full moon to the new moon, again that takes the 15 days. And this period is called the waning moon. That is Krishna Paksha. So the fortnight of the waxing moon and fortnight of the waning moon, that is this period. This is the 15 days. This can be 28 to 30 days. So whole this is called the lunar month. And each day of lunar month is called the Tithi. So students, what have we learned today? We have seen the rotation of the earth causes day and night. The revolution of the earth around the sun and its inclined axis together causes the seasons. We have seen how the revolution of the earth takes place and how there are seasons which is caused due to the inclination of the axis of the earth. The revolution of the moon around the earth give rises to the phases of the moon. The period of from one new moon to the next month is called the lunar month, and it has about 28 to 30 days. The fortnight ending on the full moon is that of the waxing moon, and the fortnight that ends on the new moon is the waning moon. And the days of lunar month are called Tithis. So hope you all have understood the lesson. If not, do comment me if you have any of the questions. If you like my video, do comment, share and subscribe. Thank you.